Let us begin with a sober assessment of reality. Attraction, in its truest and most lasting form, cannot survive in a vacuum. It requires an essential element to breathe, and that element is respect. Without it, all else is a performance. A woman might laugh at your jokes, enjoy your company, or even go through the motions of a relationship. But if that bedrock of genuine respect is cracked, the entire structure is already collapsing, whether you are willing to admit it or not. The greatest danger is that this erosion of respect rarely announces itself with a thunderclap. It is a slow, quiet poison. It is revealed not in loud declarations of contempt, but in subtle patterns of behavior, in small actions that a man, blinded by hope or by fear, often chooses to ignore until it is far too late. The first duty of a Stoic is to pay attention, to see things plainly, as they are, without the distortion of passion. And the truth you must be willing to face is this: once a woman's respect for a man has truly died, attraction cannot be resuscitated. She may remain out of convenience, but you will have lost something far more valuable than her presence. You will have lost your standing as a man worthy of admiration. You will have consented to being diminished. In this guide, we will not be discussing vague feelings. We will be exposing 5 clear, observable signs that the foundation of respect is crumbling beneath your feet. Think of this not as a list of complaints, but as a diagnostic manual for the health of your own dignity. If you recognize even one of these patterns, it is a call to awaken, because your self-respect is not an optional component in the game of attraction. It is the game itself. Principle 1: she constantly tests your boundaries, and you fail. The first and most frequent sign of eroding respect is the constant testing of your boundaries. To understand this, we must first accept a fundamental reality: women test men. This is not a malicious act. It is a natural, often subconscious, instinct to probe for strength, to feel for the edges of your character. A woman needs to know if the man she is with is a rock she can lean against, or a pile of sand that will shift with the slightest pressure. When a woman respects you, these tests are often small and playful. They stop the moment she feels your solid frame. She is reassured by your strength, and the dynamic is reinforced. But when she does not respect you, the tests do not stop. They escalate. They become louder, more frequent, and more overtly disrespectful, precisely because she has learned that you will bend. Every single time. Think about the subtle patterns. She cancels plans at the last minute, not with a genuine emergency, but with a casual excuse. She interrupts you mid-sentence to talk over you. She makes small, cutting jokes at your expense, especially in front of friends. The common, non-Stoic reaction is to fail this test through inaction. You laugh it off nervously. You tell yourself it's not worth a fight. You rationalize her behavior, thinking, she's just joking, or she's had a long day. But what you fail to realize is that every time you let it slide, you are teaching her something dangerous. You are teaching her that your boundaries are meaningless. You are teaching her that you can be pushed, and you will not push back. You are, in essence, giving her a masterclass in how to disrespect you. The harsh truth is this: a woman may use a man she can walk all over, but she will never admire him. And without admiration, there can be no genuine, lasting desire. A man who allows his boundaries to be constantly crossed is signaling a profound weakness. And weakness is the antithesis of the masculine energy she is drawn to. Now, the other failed reaction is to overreact. To blow up in anger, to yell, to throw a tantrum. This is not strength. This is insecurity dressed in rage. It shows her that she has the power to shatter your internal peace with a single action. The Stoic path is the middle way. It is the path of calm, steady, and controlled authority. Strength is not loud, it is firm. When she tests you, you do not flinch, and you do not explode. You simply hold your ground. Let's make this practical. She cancels a date for the 3rd time in a row with a weak excuse. The needy man would beg to reschedule. The angry man would sulk and send bitter texts. Both are weak. The Stoic move. You don't chase. You don't argue. You simply stop prioritizing her. Your actions speak with a volume your words don't need to. You let the silence and your own fulfilled schedule communicate the message. I do not wait around for people who do not value my time. This one move flips the entire dynamic, because she sees you are not desperate for her attention. Another example. She makes a disrespectful joke at your expense in front of her friends. Instead of laughing nervously or snapping in anger, you let the laughter die down. You hold her gaze for a moment, calm and unshaken, and you say, low and clear, don't do that again. Direct. Final. There is no debate. There is no pleading. There is only the quiet authority of a man who knows his worth. At that moment, she feels the line. She feels the solidity of your frame. She understands that you are not a man she can walk over. The reality is simple. If a woman does not respect your boundaries, she does not respect you. And if you keep failing her tests, she will keep losing interest. But the moment you begin to hold your ground not with force, not with fear, but with calm, principled authority, you change the entire dynamic. She either rises to meet your standard of respect, or she exits your life. Either way, you win. Because a man who values himself enough to enforce his own boundaries will never tolerate being disrespected. Principle 2. She no longer values your time. The second clear sign of disrespect is a direct assault on the most valuable, non-renewable resource you possess, your time. A Stoic understands that our time on this earth is finite. As Seneca wrote, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. A man who respects himself therefore respects his time. He treats it as the precious currency it is. When a woman respects you, she instinctively understands this. She treats your time with care. She shows up when she says she will. She honors her commitments. She does not play games with your schedule because she recognizes it as the ledger of your life. But when her respect begins to fade, a subtle but profound shift occurs. Your time becomes negotiable in her eyes. It becomes a resource she feels entitled to waste. And this is a sign that must never be tolerated. It often starts small. At first, she was punctual, eager, and considerate. Now she is consistently late, offering casual apologies as if your waiting has no cost. She cancels plans at the last minute with flimsy excuses that show a clear lack of forethought. She pushes back dates repeatedly, yet expects you to drop everything the moment she is finally free. This is not just poor planning. This is a silent communication. She is telling you that her priorities, her whims, and her convenience are all more important than the commitments she has made to you. She is telling you that your time holds no significant weight in her world. This is where most men fail disastrously. They believe that being overly accommodating is a virtue. They see it as being kind, patient, or understanding. They say, no problem, when, in fact, it is a very big problem. In her eyes, this is not patience. This is a lack of self-respect. It makes you look spendless. She does not admire the man who waits around endlessly for her, like a puppy waiting for its owner. She admires the man whose time is so valuable, whose mission is so compelling, that he will not allow anyone to squander it. Let us return to a practical example. She texts you 10 minutes before a date saying, "So sorry, something came up." Rain check. The average man operating from a fear of loss immediately replies, "Of course, no problem. Let me know when you're free." He has just rewarded her disrespect with more availability. The Stoic man does not do this. He doesn't get angry. He doesn't throw insults. That would be a loss of his own composure. But he also does not bend his reality to fit her carelessness. He responds with calm detachment. "That's unfortunate. My schedule is full for the coming week, but I'll reach out if a spot opens up." That single response communicates volumes. It tells her you are not angry, but you are also not a doormat. It tells her you are not waiting by the phone for her. It tells her that your time is a valuable asset, and access to it must be earned and respected. You have calmly repositioned yourself not as a backup option, but as the one whose time is in demand. If a woman truly respects you, she would not consistently disrespect your time in the first place. Respect is demonstrated through action, effort, and accountability. A woman who admires you will want to fit into your world, not expect you to constantly rearrange yours for her. When a woman disrespects your time, she is showing you exactly where you stand. Protect your time as you would protect your life. because it is one and the same. If she cannot respect it, she cannot respect you. And if she cannot respect you, she can never truly desire you. Principle 3, she talks down to you, instead of with you, another unmistakable sign of disrespect, and one that is often hidden in plain sight, is revealed in her tone. Pay close attention here because words can lie, but a person's tone rarely does. A woman who respects you speaks with you. Even in disagreement, even in frustration, there is an underlying current of partnership. She may challenge you, she may argue with you, but her tone acknowledges your standing as an equal. But when that respect is gone, the dynamic shifts. She begins to talk down to you. She speaks as if to a child, an underling, or a nuisance. This change in the music of her communication is a blaring red flag that most men try to ignore, because facing it is too painful. It creeps in subtly at first. She interrupts you constantly, signaling that her thoughts are more important than yours. She rolls her eyes when you share an opinion. She lets out an exasperated sigh when you try to explain your perspective. She uses a sharp, sarcastic edge to mock your ideas or your plans. If left unchecked, it escalates. She may correct you in public as if you are incompetent. She may raise her voice in condescension, her words dripping with irritation or a sense of superiority. Do not deceive yourself. This is not her being playful or passionate. This is her revealing that she no longer sees you as a man whose authority, perspective, and position are worthy of her deference. The uncomfortable truth is that while passion is part of a healthy dynamic, the line between passion and disrespect is clear and bright. Once condescension and dismissal become her default mode of communication, she is showing you that in her eyes, you are no longer an equal partner. And if you allow this pattern to continue, it will only grow worse. This principle of calm boundary setting is crucial. It is a skill we all must practice. In the comments below, I'd be interested to read how you have successfully enforced a boundary regarding communication without resorting to anger. Your practical wisdom could be invaluable to other men here. Now, most men fail this test in one of two ways. They either overreact, meeting her condescension with their own yelling, which proves they are just as emotionally uncontrolled as she is, or they underreact. They stay silent, swallowing the disrespect, telling themselves it's not worth the fight. Both of these paths destroy attraction. Anger shows you are weak. Silence shows you are weak. The Stoic approach, once again, is the middle path of calm authority. You do not meet disrespect with more disrespect. When she talks down to you, you do not laugh it off nervously. You do not engage in a shouting match. You simply pause. You hold her gaze. And you set the tone with a quiet, unshakable firmness. Don't speak to me like that. It is direct. It is clear. And it is delivered without raising your voice. That calm presence hits harder than any argument because it communicates two things simultaneously. I will not tolerate this. And I do not need to lose my composure to enforce my standard. The women secretly admire men who can command respect without begging for it. When you calmly call out her tone, you are showing her you are a man who values himself. And deep down, women only respect men who respect themselves first. Principle 4, she withholds affection as a form of control. When a woman truly respects you, affection is a natural and flowing current in the relationship. It is not always a roaring river, but there is a steady stream of warmth, a gentle touch, a lingering gaze, a smile that communicates genuine connection. But when respect has died, affection is no longer a currency of connection. It becomes a weapon of control. She begins to withhold it, not because she is genuinely in need of space, but because she has learned that you will work harder, chase more desperately, and bend to her will when she creates a deficit. This is not love. This is a power play. And a man who tolerates it signals that he is willing to beg for scraps of attention instead of commanding the respect he is due. Here is how this pattern typically unfolds. She stops initiating any form of physical touch. The hugs, the kisses, the intimacy, it all becomes your responsibility. Then, she begins to avoid your touch altogether, often with a series of convenient excuses. I'm tired. I'm stressed. I'm not in the mood. These excuses become the norm, not the exception. She may pull her hand away in public. She rarely offers a compliment or a word of affirmation. She makes affection feel like a prize you have to win through perfect behavior, rather than something that should flow naturally. Most men panic when this happens. They internalize the rejection and assume they are the problem. Their immediate instinct is to work harder to earn her affection back. They double down on gifts, on compliments, on grand gestures. They become the dancing monkey, hoping for a round of applause. But here is the ugly truth that you must understand. The harder you chase affection that is being strategically withheld, the less she respects you. What she sees is not a loving partner trying to reconnect. She sees a man willing to grovel for what he wants. She sees a man whose emotional well-being is entirely in her hands. This flips the entire dynamic. She becomes the one with all the power, and you become the one constantly trying to qualify yourself. Attraction cannot survive under these conditions. The stoic man, however, does not play this game. He has the wisdom to recognize the difference between a woman genuinely needing space and a woman using withdrawal as a tool of manipulation. And when he spots the latter, he does not beg, plead, or bribe her with more effort. He calmly pulls back his own energy. He stops chasing. He mirrors her withdrawal. He does not punish her with angry silence, but he also refuses to reward her manipulation with more attention. His calm detachment communicates an unspoken truth. My value and my inner peace do not depend on your affection. I know who I am, and I will not beg for what should be freely given between equals. The irony is that the moment you stop rewarding this behavior, the game loses its power. She realizes her main tool of control doesn't work on you. Instead of you chasing harder, she is left in the silence, wondering why you are not reacting. That calm detachment forces her to confront her own behavior. 9 times out of 10, she will either adjust and begin to show respect again, or she will drift away entirely, revealing that she was never truly invested in the first place. Either outcome is a victory for you, because you have refused to play the role of the needy man begging for validation. Principle 5. She no longer supports your growth or ambitions. The final and perhaps most profound sign a woman doesn't respect you is when she stops supporting your growth. Respect and attraction are not merely about how she treats you in the present moment. They are deeply tied to whether she sees you as a man worth following into the future. When a woman truly respects you, she is invested in your vision. She believes in your potential. She listens when you talk about your goals. She encourages you when you face setbacks. She may challenge your ideas, but she does so from a place of wanting to see you succeed. She is your ally. But when that respect is gone, her role shifts from ally to adversary. She begins to minimize, mock, or outright ignore your ambitions. That is when you know you have lost her admiration. And once admiration is gone, desire soon follows. Think about it. You share an idea for a new business, a difficult career move, or even a skill you want to master. And instead of interest or encouragement, you are met with a shrug, or worse, a cynical laugh. She tells you it's unrealistic, a waste of time, or something you'll never achieve. At first, you might rationalize this as her being practical or blunt. But the reality is that a woman who respects you will never intentionally belittle your drive. She will never mock the part of you that wants to grow and build. Her dismissal of your ambitions is a direct dismissal of you as a man capable of leading, creating, and achieving. And that is the purest form of disrespect. Now, here is where most men make the fatal mistake. Instead of recognizing this for the massive red flag that it is, they start seeking her approval even harder. They begin to shrink. They stop talking about their goals as boldly, afraid of her cynical reaction. They downplay their own vision just to keep the peace. But the moment you shrink yourself to fit into her frame of view, you have lost her respect permanently. Women do not admire men who abandon their mission to keep a relationship afloat. They admire men who stay on their path, even and especially when they are doubted. The stoic man understands this at his core. His ambition, his drive for excellence, his mission. This is his responsibility to himself and to the world. He does not need her validation to pursue it. If she supports him, she is a welcome companion on his journey. If she mocks him, She has simply revealed that she is not meant to be on that journey with him. He does not beg her to see his value. He does not argue or try to convince her. He simply keeps building. He keeps growing, he keeps moving forward. Paradoxically, it is this unwavering commitment to his own vision that either forces her to re-evaluate him and reignite her respect, or it exposes her as being completely misaligned with his path. Either outcome provides clarity, and clarity is power. A woman might tolerate a man who stagnates, but she will never deeply admire him. If she no longer supports your growth, she is telling you she no longer believes in you. Do not argue, do not explain, and do not slow down to win her back. Double down on your mission. Because the man who refuses to compromise his growth will always command respect, whether she gives it or not. So let us end where we began, with a simple, unyielding truth. Respect is not something you beg for. It is something you command, first from yourself, and then from the world. If a woman does not respect you, the signs are always there, written in the language of action, not words. She will test your boundaries until they break. She will treat your time as if it is worthless. She will speak to you with a tone of condescension. She will weaponize affection to control you. And she will dismiss the very ambitions that define you as a man. These are not small misunderstandings. They are symptoms of a deep-seated disease in the dynamic of your relationship. And the Stoic imperative is to see reality for what it is, not what you wish it to be. To ignore these signs is not an act of patience. It is an act of self-deception. It is a quiet consent to your own diminishment. The choice, as always, is yours. You can continue to make excuses, to tolerate the intolerable, and to hope that she will magically change. Or you can make the more difficult, more virtuous choice to value your own dignity above her presence. In the comments below, let us know which of these 5 signs has been the most subtle, yet most damaging in your own experience. Sharing your awareness can help sharpen the perception of other men on this path. If this guide has served as a necessary wake-up call, then like this video to affirm your commitment to self-respect. Share it with a man who needs to see these signs clearly. And subscribe to the Stoic Manhood Guide, because recognizing the problem is only the first step. The next is to build a character that is immune to it. Remember, the world can only treat you in the way you first consent to be treated. Withdraw your consent from anything that diminishes you.